Hi, welcome to vlog number 11, and this week we'll be talking about rhetoric and self. So, in our textbook, The Rhetorical Act, chapter 10, the topic this week is opportunities and challenges arising from the rhetor. So, in the chapter, they talk about different obstacles or challenges, opportunities arising from the speaker. So I learned that in every interaction, each of us plays a role, whether that be speaker or listener, or vice versa. We make sense of others and make sense to others by adopting these roles. Roles adopted by the rhetor are called personas, and the goal is to influence the audience. So the persona being how they act in front of the audience, or maybe the language they use, all goes into their persona. And another aspect of the persona by the rhetor is ethos, which is basically credibility. And it's a factor of how they are to influence their audience. So in-person factors that affect ethos is or can be representation, that being appearance, occasion, or context, and then in maybe perhaps a written work where it's not in person. Factors that can affect ethos are expertise, trustworthiness, dynamism, and identification. So in our other textbook, Reading Pop Culture Chapter 2, it involves identity. Where do we discover ourselves in pop culture? One of the essays in this chapter is An Argument for Being a Poser by Liz Armstrong, and the essay is essentially about what it means to discover yourself. And she builds credibility, which is her ethos. She builds credibility by talking about her own experience and making it relatable to the audience. So in this essay, she talks about herself in high school and taking on different personas, listening to different music, dressing a certain way, trying to find who she is as a person. She doesn't limit herself. She goes to every group possible and transforms herself, but doesn't belong to one group completely. And for that reason, she's called a poser. But her conclusion in this essay that everyone's posing all the time, and she's just being honest about it, and that's how she found her identity, by going through all these different groups and just being a poser. In my New York Times article, it also covers identity, like the essay before in Reading Pop Culture. And the article is called, Is There a Right Way to Be Deaf? And in this article, it's the point of view of a girl, and she too uses her own life experience to help her credibility and to show the audience what her life was like. And so basically the essay is about her growing up. She was born deaf, but her family was hearing, and essentially her family was trying to find what was the best way for her to communicate, whether that be orally and getting cochlear implants and trying to be a part more of the hearing world, or to send her to a school, an all-deaf school, where she could use sign language. And they didn't want her to go because they thought they wanted her to be more with family, and they learned sign language too. But for her, she felt like it was a struggle between the two worlds. And using these life experiences in her essay added credibility to her. And when you use real life experiences, it makes it more relatable to the audience, and they're more willing to connect with you and to understand you better. And in conclusion, it added to her credibility and covered what we talked about in the Rhetorical Act, our other textbook, and that was her persona, taking on this persona of ethos. So thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.